ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 23, Verse 16. मंत्रतस्तंत्रतश्छिद्रं देशकालार्ह वस्तुतः सर्वं करोति निश्छिद्रम् अनुसंकीर्तनं तव. There may be discrepancies in pronouncing the mantras and observing the regulatory principles. And moreover, there may be discrepancies in regard to time, place, person, and paraphernalia. But when your Lordship's holy name is chanted, everything becomes faultless. That is the reason, if you see in ISKCON, with every arti, there is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Iva Kevalam. Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. Brihannaradiya Purana. In this age of Kali, it is extremely difficult to perform Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or sacrifices perfectly. Hardly anyone can chant the Vedic mantras with perfect pronunciation or accumulate the paraphernalia for Vedic performances. Therefore, the sacrifice recommended in this age is Sankirtana, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Yagnai Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedhasaha. Instead of wasting time performing Vedic sacrifices, those who are intelligent, those who possess good brain substance, should take to the chanting of the Lord's holy name and thus perform sacrifice perfectly. I have seen that many religious leaders are addicted to performing yagnas and spending hundreds and thousands of rupees for imperfect sacrificial performances. This is a lesson for those who unnecessarily execute such imperfect sacrifices. We should take the advice of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Shukracharya was a strict Brahmana addicted to ritualistic activities, he also admitted Nishchidram Anusankirtanam Tava. Nishchidram. My Lord, constant chanting of the holy name of your Lordship makes everything perfect. In Kali Yuga, the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies cannot be performed as perfectly as before. Therefore, Srila Jiva Goswami has recommended that although one should take care to follow all the principles in every kind of spiritual activity, especially in worship of the deity, there is still a chance of discrepancies, and one should compensate for this by chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we therefore give special stress to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra in all activities. Prabhupada was anyway mantra upasak. He was worshipper of the Nama, and this was Shukracharya is specifically saying, Anusankirtanam tava. And Prabhupada is translating this as Anusankirtanam means constant chanting the holy name, constantly chanting the holy name. Now, there's one, maybe little, as in some devotees think that they should give up other services and only do chanting. No, that's not correct. All service is actually a form of Sankirtan. And chanting also is Sankirtan. So, It's not that for chanting Hare Krishna, then we don't do service or we sit at home or do Ekanta Bhajana. This is not recommended for us. Our sampradaya is we are not bhajananandis. Bhajananandi means those who derive happiness out of bhajana. That is ekanta bhajana, one's own personal service to Krishna by chanting, etc. We are Goshtyanandis. We derive mercy by making others chant, not by ourselves chanting. That means preaching movement. So we have to make sure that we can engage in preaching activities. And like you said, preaching is simple. Just Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Just tell people Krishna is the Supreme Lord, chant his holy name. That's all. Who can't do this? Anybody can do it. But sometimes we don't want to do it because we think, oh, no, no, but if people don't agree, people don't accept. But that's not our problem so much. That's their problem. Our seva to the Supreme Lord, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is to make others chant Hare Krishna. So that is Anu Sankirtanam. There is all Anu Sankirtanam also means like here specifically it means that along with something else, Sankirtanam is all Sankirtan is done. So Prabhupada is saying that's why we give special stress to the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. And of course, Hare Krishna mantra has to be ideally chanted purely. What is Shuddha Nama? Shuddha Nama is that which is devoid of aparadha and nama bhasa. It's devoid of all 10 offenses, and it's also devoid of nama bhasa. Nama bhasa means semblance of the name. Semblance means it looks like the name. Nama prada doesn't look like the name at all because nama prada is far from the real name. And why is it called nama prada? Because in this chanting there are material desires. Somebody like a person who's chanting has some material aspirations, desires, materially tinted mind results in nama prada. When one becomes free from the material desires and material contamination, then it's called nama bhasa, otherwise called clearing stage, meaning all our anarthas are going to get cleared and then we will go to the stage of Shuddha Nama. So ideally chanting should be done in Shuddha Nama. Chanting done even in Nama Bhasa will give us liberation. Nama Bhasa chanting can give us liberation. But who wants liberation? We're not here for liberation. We want Krishna. We want Krishna Prema. So for Krishna Prema, we have to chant on the platform of Shuddha Nama. Shuddha Nama means, like I said, one is no aparadha, the other is, it is actually pure name. What is pure name? Name is always pure. Pure name means chanted purely by a person who is pure. He is pure, Shuddha Nama. And of course, such devotees even chant, take the name of Lord with some feeling. So then that Nama becomes Sri Krishna Akarshini. Then it attracts Krishna. Yeah, so special stress to chanting, but again, special stress to chanting doesn't mean at the expense of preaching or other services which are required. Tathapi vadato bhuman karishyamyanuशासनम् एतत् श्रेयः परं पुंसां yattavagnanupalanam. But Shukracharya is saying, Lord Vishnu, I must nonetheless act in obedience to your order because obeying your order is most auspicious and is the first duty of everyone. Now he's coming to senses. He was telling Bali Maharaj saying that don't do whatever he wants. Don't give him. Now he's saying, okay, following your order, acting in obedience to your order is the most auspicious and is the first duty of everyone. So every person has to try to follow obediently. This word obediently is lost in our dictionary today. Previously, it used to be commonly used, obedience. Mm. So we have to obediently. And again, anushasanam. Anushasanam means according to your order. Mm. That is Shreya. That is the real Shreya. Mm. Of course, we might not be able to, we don't know. Sometimes we don't know what the order of the Supreme Lord is. So then the order of Guru is non different from the order of Krishna. Mm. Shri Shukavacha Pratinandya Hare Ragnam Ushana Bhagavaniti Yagnachidram Samadhatta Baler Viprashibhi Saha. Shukadeva Goswami continued. In this way, the most powerful Shukracharya accepted the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full respect. Along with the best Brahmanas, he began to compensate for the discrepancies in the sacrifices performed by Bali Maharaj. Of course, he was expert in all this ritualistic things, Shukracharya, so he was able to find out all the discrepancies and is compensating for that. Hmm. Hmm. एवं बलेर्महीं राजन् भिक्षित्वा वामनो हरिः ददौ भ्रात्रे महेन्द्राय त्रिदिवं यत्परैर्हृतम्. O King Parikshit, thus having taken all the land of Bali Maharaj by begging, the Supreme Lord Vamana Deva, Supreme Person of Godhead, delivered to his brother Indra all the land taken away by Indra's enemy. Hmm. Bhikshitva, by doing bhiksha, by asking for bhiksha. So this is the exalted position of the Lord. And see, we can also see that Indra is also so fortunate. He has Vamana Deva for his brother. And Vamana Deva did this for Indra to give him back his position. But the Lord's intention was more to give special mercy to Bali Maharaj than to give the heavenly kingdom back to Indra. Yeah, but the Supreme Lord, whenever he does things, he accomplishes multiple uh, goals at the same time. But primarily, his motive intention is always to take care of his devotee. That's his primary intention. And then other things also get accomplished because he is the supreme, most intelligent, the supremely intelligent person. So he will do things in such a way that multiple things get accomplished. Mm. Um, sometimes I keep thinking about this material world and how it functions. Sometimes, I see on the road like some vehicle, some two vehicles are going so close to each other. Otherwise, there should have been like an accident. And then see the power of the Supreme Lord is so, it's omnipotent. It's there everywhere, right? So even when, if two vehicles are there, if suppose they are not supposed to bang into each other, then they will not bang. And it's so amazing. Sometimes I see it's not possible. I mean, this guy should have hit him, right? It will be like 1 centimeter between two vehicles. But that's the kind of control precision that the Lord has over this material creation. Is so powerful that even every centimeter of land, every there's an inch of land, but every centimeter, every span of land, everything to the minutest detail is controlled by the Supreme Lord. It's really inconceivable. I mean, Krishna's potency, sometimes, you just get like, we can't imagine how it's working. It seems so much chaotic. The whole world seems to be so much chaotic, but it's all under control. It's controlled chaos. But the chaos is created not by the Supreme Lord, but by the jivas. Because of the nonsense that we do, we create chaotic situation in our lives. But even in that chaos, there is order. This is so amazing. It's unimaginable how something like that can happen. And which is true for devotees. Life of devotee is completely, especially Prabhupada speaks about this in this verse Rishikesha in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita or second chapter. Um, no, first chapter, I think. There is a first mention of Rishikesha. Rishikesham tada vakyam idam aham mahipate. So, in the first chapter only, Prabhupada talks about, when he's giving in the purport to Rishikesha, he says, Supreme Lord is the master of senses and he completely controls the senses of a pure devotee. And I was thinking about it. It's so amazing. So first he says, he controls to the extent of their surrender. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. That is for ordinary jivas. Uh, and for pure devotee, he completely controls their senses. Uh, just thinking about this, saying that Arjuna, he is now, people speak about Arjuna saying, he was in ignorance, he refused to fight, and, like he somewhat infamous for this act, Arjuna. But Arjuna did not bother saying that, oh, what will the world think if I do like this, right? So, which means they readily accept the desire of the Lord. Uh, and so, because they readily accept the desire of the Lord, whatever they do is completely under the control of Krishna. And Krishna is also reciprocate similarly, right? He is not bothered about what the world thinks about him. He's ready to do whatever that this devotee wants, and devotee is ready to do whatever the Lord wants. So, in that sense, the life of a devotee is completely controlled, completely under the control of the Lord. But it takes us many, many years to actually realize this one simple thing, that our life is not running like the life of other people in this material world. Mm. It's completely the mercy of Supreme Lord. It's completely Krishna's mercy. And when we start realizing this, we feel Krishna's presence in our life. Mm. This is the difference between uh, having full faith in Krishna and not having. A person who has full faith in Krishna firmly believes Krishna's complete control over his life. Firmly believes. Because he surrendered and he knows Krishna's potency. And he firmly believes, saying, it's not me, it's Krishna. Mm. And we need to realize this. We need to realize the hand of Krishna in our life. Mm. Because here, somebody might think, why did Vamanadev do all this? Why did Vamanadev have to, ask for 3 pieces of land and then almost like externally cheating him? Uh, why cheating? Because when he asked for the land, his legs were so small. So normally you would, look at, okay, this is your current form, this is your size of your legs, so I give you so much charity. But then suddenly he changed the situation altogether. So in some sense, it was cheating. Right? So somebody might think, why would Lord do something like this? Because to give mercy to his devotees. Every time every time any Bhagavatam episode, pastime of the Lord, it's for us to think, saying that how merciful Krishna is. How merciful Krishna is. And then we are here, we are hanging on to our, false ego, our so-called material possessions, um, this, that, and all that. And sometime I heard, I think many years back, I heard somebody saying that there is one devotee uh, who was experiencing severe problems in life. Mm. And uh, and then it's like at one point of time the devotee could not tolerate, so he went to Krishna and he asked, saying that, Krishna, I'm not able to tolerate, please take away this problem. Mm. And then I don't know exactly how it happened, but somehow the Lord revealed to him, saying, "This is your path to perfection." Now, if you don't want the suffering, which means that you will have to come back again. Do you want to do that? And all of us should realize this in our lives, saying that whatever we are going through, mm, small, big, whatever, good, bad, ugly, is just to take us to Krishna. Mm. And many times, without getting beaten up materially, um, we are like, I can talk about myself like a donkey, or a dog. Tail of the dog, how much ever you can try to keep it straight, but it again becomes curved. So we will not learn unless we are punished. And fortunate are those souls who can learn without being punished. They're very fortunate, very intelligent. If they can simply hear and learn. And like I was talking to one devotee who's very young. So I was saying, like, why are you wasting time? So he was saying, Prabhu, I think I have a lot of time in my life. It's like that. All of us think we have a lot of time in our life, to do these things. So it's okay. Intensity of devotion, why it has to come now? It'll come at the right time. We speak like Krishna. It'll come at the right time. Don't have to worry about it. No, which means that we are in ignorance about the reality of this material world. We really don't know. We really don't know. So important point is that Krishna is out there to help us. We should be prepared to accept his help wholeheartedly with both hands extended. Otherwise, we will simply be blocking our own progress back to Godhead. Mm. Mm. And if we are really serious about our devotion, if we are really serious about going back to Krishna in this life, we can dare to pray the Lord for make me intense. If we are not intense, we can pray to Krishna to make us intense. It's a dangerous prayer. Mm. We might not necessarily be able to tolerate what will come after that. But if we dare, that's what I'm saying. If we have faith in Krishna and if we really want to say that, that's it, I don't want to come back again to this miserable material world. Yeah, if Krishna wants, I'm okay to come back, but I want to perfect my life. Mm. In one way, the path of bhakti is actually so easy. Yesterday, we were reading from the first canto, 5th chapter, where there's a verse which says that simply by engaging in devotional service, all the material desires the person possesses will get destroyed. But then in the purport, Prabhupada writes his standard statements about devotion. So he says serious, so he says sincere, serious, and intense. So these three adjectives came out of that, or adverbs, whatever, based on how you look at it, right? So, which means that not simply doing devotional service will take away our material desires. So we should do it with sincerity, with seriousness, and with intensity. And if anybody is feeling, no, I don't think I have the required intensity, I need more intensity, then pray. You can pray to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. It might be difficult to deal with, but Krishna will bestow mercy because Krishna wants to bestow mercy and he does all kinds of things, right? I mean, I'm just reading this one line saying for Bali Maharaj, what all Vamana Dev did. But all that he did was just for bringing Bali Maharaj on the right track because Bali Maharaj was somewhat stuck in false prestige of being the Lord of the three worlds. So sometimes we don't even know where we are stuck. So it's important. So when we read Bhagavatam, We should understand. And what can we, I mean, how difficult a test can we go through, right? Compared to Bali Maharaj, Kunti Maharani. I mean, all these devotees are so exalted, so exalted. And their full faith in the Supreme Lord. They didn't shake. It's very, 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 very difficult. Very difficult. Nah, I've experienced in my life that when things are going smooth, we will have all the positivity to say, we might even say, yeah, Kunti Maharani, yes, she's praying again and again for miseries. I can also pray. Why? Because we're not going through any trouble. Uh, but think of doing that in the midst of trouble. And I've said this multiple times. When there are short-lived problems, we don't really understand. Yeah, I think it's okay. Some problem came 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, 15 days, 1 month, went away. It's really not a problem at all. Problem is experienced when it persists. It persists for months, years. Then we are tested. Then we are tested. Mm. And Bali Maharaj went through severe. I mean, for him it was instant, but lost everything. Right? Not gradual, but instantly lost everything. But he didn't budge. Externally, he seems to portray it as truthfulness, keeping up his word, etc. But internally, Prabhupada is saying that it's his devotion. It's his firm devotion in the Supreme Lord that he did this. It's amazing. Prajapati Patir Brahma Devarshi Pitrabhumipaihi Daksha Bhrigvangiro Mukhyai Kumarena Bhavena Cha Kashyapasyaadite Prityai Sarvabhuta Bhavaya Cha Lokanam Lokapalanam Akarodvamanam Patim. Lord Brahma, the master of King Daksha and all other Prajapatis, accompanied by all the demigods, the great saintly persons, the inhabitants of Pitruloka, Manus, Munis, and such leaders as Daksha, Bhrigu, Angira, as well as Kartikeya and Lord Shiva, accepted Lord Vamana Dev as the protector of everyone. He did this for the pleasure of Kashyapa Muni and his wife Aditi, and for the welfare of all the inhabitants of the universe, including their various leaders. And this is our natural state. Our natural state is to be under the protection of Krishna. Mm. And that protection comes at the time of initiation. Because the time of initiation, the devotee surrenders himself. Diksha Kale Bhakta Kare Atma Samarpan. So he offers himself at the lotus feet of Krishna via the transparent medium of Guru and says, from now on, I have given up my freedom. And that automatically brings protection. Because now we are ready to do whatever it takes for Krishna's pleasure, and there might be risks involved. But Krishna says, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Krishna assures protection of his devotees. But again, it takes a lot of years of sadhana and going through Krishna conscious life to come to this platform of firm faith in Krishna. Like again, Sudama. I mean, these are devotees always. Just see, Sudama was in dire strait. His wife was like pushing him to get something, to ask something out of Krishna. He had the power, he had the position, he had the chance, he had the opportunity to ask, but he refrained. That is real faith. Or we can even say that is really love, where even in the most trying of situations, we don't ask anything for our own self. So we should get inspired by these things. So he is the real protector. We don't have to think otherwise. I mean, there is no other position. If we are thinking that I am the protector or somebody else is my protector, we're just in illusion. That's all. Bhagavatam says that a doctor's medicine cannot save a patient. Parents cannot save their children. And most parents think that we are protecting our children. Bhagavatam says no parent can protect their children. It's only the Supreme Lord who is protecting. So we should realize our hopeless, helpless situation in this material world and simply depend on Krishna. वेदानां सर्वदेवानां धर्मस्य यशसः श्रियः मङ्गलानां व्रतानां च कल्पं स्वर्गापवर्गयोः उपेन्द्रं कल्पयां चक्रे पतिं सर्वविभूतये तदा सर्वाणि भूतानि भृशं मुमुदिरे नृप. O King Parikshit, Indra was considered the king of all the universe, but the demigods headed by Lord Brahma wanted Upendra, Lord Vamanadev, as the protector of the Vedas, the principles of religion, fame, opulence, auspiciousness, vows, elevation to the higher planetary system, and liberation. Hmm. Thus, they accepted Upendra, Lord Vamanadev, as the supreme master of everything. This decision made all living entities extremely happy, and which is why that Shanti Sutra is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Bhauktaram Igna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suradam Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Shanti Mruchati. Hmm. Knowing that He is the Surhudam, Surudi, He is the well-wisher, He is our real well-wisher, and the Supreme Controller, and the Master of all the worlds. One derives peace. Why only peace? This verse is saying that they derived happiness. Hmm. We should be happy being uh, under the protection, care, love of Krishna. Hmm. So this is our constitutional position. Tatastvindra puraskrutya devayanena vamanam lokapalerdivam ninye brahmana chanumoditaha. Thereafter, along with all the leaders of the heavenly planets, Indra, the king of heaven, placed Lord Vamanadev before him, and with the approval of Lord Brahma, brought him to the heavenly planet in a celestial airplane. प्राप्य त्रिभुवनं चेन्द्र उपेन्द्र भुजपालितः श्रिया परमया जुष्टो मुमुदे गतसाध्वसः. Indra, being protected by the arms of Vamanadev, thus regained his rule of the three worlds and was reinstated in his own position, supremely opulent, fearless, and fully satisfied. See, even demigods who are Mishra Bhaktas, Krishna does things for them because they're doing some seva in the administrative, administration of this material world. So even though they have some material motives, Krishna still takes care of them. So what to think of pure devotees? Mm. Yeah, to mixed devotees, Krishna will not give himself up. He will give them all whatever is required for them materially. But for pure devotees, Krishna goes far beyond this and gives himself up. Mm. Mm. These things about Krishna and his love for his devotees uh, should attract us. Should attract us because uh, these qualities, uh, we can't experience this in this material world. First of all, right? And Krishna's love is so pure, right? Because it just doesn't depend on anything else. Mm. Krishna sits at the feet of Arjuna. Can you just imagine? Like Krishna sat at the feet of Arjuna. That's what he can do to his pure devotee. That's his love. Mm. And everybody is looking for love. Prabhupada says that all that everybody is looking for in this material world from time immemorial is this love of Krishna. And we are just trying to find that love through various other means and situations and all that, but nothing can make us satisfied. Nothing can satisfy us. Mm. Because whatever else we get is just connected with this body. And it's only this pure love, which is the love of, uh, uh, which is the soul connection, which is the connection of the Atma with the Param Brahman. That is the only thing which can actually give us happiness. Mm. Brahma Sarva Kumarascha Brigvadya Munayo Nrupa पितरः सर्वभूतानि सिद्धा वै मानिकाश्च ये सुमहत् कर्म तद्विष्णोर्गायन्तः परमद्भुतं धिष्ण्यानि स्वानि ते जग्मुरदितिं च शशंसिरे. Lord Brahma, Shiva, Kartikeya, Bhrigu, other saintly persons, the inhabitants of Pitraloka, and all other living entities present, including the inhabitants of Siddhaloka and living entities who travel in outer space by airplane, all glorified the uncommon activities of Lord Vamanadeva. O King, while chanting about and glorifying the Lord, they returned to their respective heavenly planets. They also praised the position of Aditi. O Maharaj Parikshit, pleasure of your dynasty, I have now described to you everything about the wonderful activities of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Vamana Deva. Those who hear about this are certainly freed from all results of sinful activities. Uh, simply powerful Palashruti. Mm, mm. One is freed from all results of sinful activities, then what state does he reach? Mm. And one becomes freed from all reactions of sinful activities, he reaches Brahmabhuta. Because what's holding us down from Brahmabhuta is Rajas and Tamas. And Rajas and Tamas is a result of our past karma. And once all this karma is destroyed, we directly come to Brahmabhuta. And when we come to Brahmabhuta, Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. So indirectly, there is no other benediction in Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam, all benedictions, irrespective of whether they seem direct or indirect, is to bring us to pure devotion. And getting freed from results of sinful activities is definitely going to propel us forward on the path of pure devotion. One who is subject to death, so still some glories. One who is subject to death cannot measure the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Trivikrama, Lord Vishnu, any more than he can count the number of atoms on the entire planet Earth. No one, whether born already or destined to take birth, is able to do this. This has been sung by the great sage Vasishta. Vasishta Muni has given a mantra about Lord Vishnu. Nate Vishnu Jayamano Najato Mahimna Paramananta Mapa. No one can estimate the extent of the uncommonly glorious activities of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, there are so-called scientists who are subjected to death at every moment but are trying to understand by speculation the wonderful creation of the cosmos. This is a foolish attempt. Long, long ago, Vasishta Muni said that no one in the past could measure the glories of the Lord and that no one can do so in the future. One must simply be satisfied with seeing the glorious activities of the Supreme Lord's creation. Bhagavad Gita, Vishtabhyaham idam kritsnam ekam shena sthito jagat. The material world consists of innumerable universes, each one full of innumerable planets, which are all considered to be products of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. Yet this is only 1/4 of God's creation. The other 3/4 of creation constitute the spiritual world. Among the innumerable planets in only one universe, the so-called scientists cannot understand even the moon and Mars, but they try to defy the creation of the Supreme Lord and his uncommon energy. Such men have been described as crazy. Noonam pramatta kurute vikarma. Such crazy men unnecessarily waste time, energy, and money in attempting to defy the glorious activities of Urukrama. If one hears about the uncommon activities of the Supreme Lord in his various incarnations, he is certainly elevated to the higher planetary system or even brought back home back to Godhead. So what is this or? Or is based on the Jiva's desire. So if he wants to go to heaven, he can go. If he wants to go back to Godhead, he can go there also. The last verse of this chapter. Whenever the activities of Vamanadeva are described in the course of a ritualistic ceremony, whether the ceremony be performed to please the demigods, to please one's forefathers in Pitruloka, or to celebrate a social event like a marriage, that ceremony should be understood to be extremely auspicious. Prabhupada is saying there are three kinds of ceremonies, specifically ceremonies to please the Supreme Lord or the demigods, those performed for social celebrations like marriages and birthdays, and those meant to please the forefathers like Shraddha. In all these ceremonies, large amounts of money are spent for various activities, but here it is suggested that if along with this, there is a recitation of the wonderful activities of Vamana Deva, certainly the ceremony will be carried out successfully and will be free of all discrepancies. Thus, in the Bhakti Vedanta purpose of the 8th canto, 23rd chapter, entitled Demigods Regain the Heavenly Planets. Okay, so we finished Vamana Avatar. Now next chapter is Matsya. So, and then, yeah, that ends 8th canto. So we're going to go into 9th and then we'll come to 10th. Okay, so Matsya is just one chapter, so we'll possibly, Krishna willing, finish it tomorrow and then move into 9 chapters. Okay, so I'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, comments. Anything? Okay, all happy and satisfied. So we'll close Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Prabhu.